Welcome to Aries Air Online Student Enrollment. Aries Internet Registration, or AIR, allows you to quickly start the process of registering a student for school. Information about the student, such as emergency contacts, medical and language information, will be collected. Upon completion, the student's information is electronically sent to the school. To get started registering your new student, click the Register a New Student button. If you would like to reprint or review students you previously registered using Aries Air, click the Login button. So first you're going to choose your language. Do you want to complete this form in English, or would you like to complete this form in Spanish? All you would do is click the toggle. Notice when I click Spanish, the instructions are in Spanish. So I'm going to enroll a new student. I'm going to pick for the current school year for my purposes right now, or I can pick for the 2015-16 school year for a pre-enrolled student. Remember, this is for brand new students to Vista Unified. So I'm going to choose the 14-15 school year and click Next. It tells me what is required. So you may want to print this page. So to enroll a new student, you're going to be required to provide various information. So please make sure you have this information available before continuing. If you do not have this information available, you can return later when you do and then complete the process. The items that you're going to need are verification of a valid address within the school district boundaries, immunization records, a local physician name and phone number, birth verification, for example, a birth certificate or a passport. You will need an IEP if the student is in special ed or has a 504 plan. So we're going to click Next to continue. If you have a previous login, you can choose over here Existing User. For this purposes today, I will create a new login. So I'm going to choose my name. I'm going to put in my email address. And put in my password and retype my password and create a login. It asks you for the terms of service. This is a standard contract form. Please review the terms of service. It's very simple. I affirm that the information entered is true and to the best of my knowledge. You must check this I agree button and then click Next. So now you're going to put in your student's legal first name. Remember, this is the name that is on the birth certificate. So I'm going to put in my student's first name. If they have a nickname that they want to go by, their legal middle name and the legal last name. If the student has a suffix, and what the student's birth date is. What the grade level is. And we're going to choose Next. So now it's asking for the student's resident address. This is not a mailing address, this is your resident address. Notice as I start typing, if the student is in Vista Unified School District boundaries, the address will pop up. I just need to click on it and it will automatically fill in this information. If you live outside Vista Unified School District boundaries, it will not allow you to do this. You need to go to the school that you would like to attend to and bring in your inter-district form from your home district. So we want to use a resident address above as a mailing address. We can say yes or no. If I choose, I want a different mailing address, I would say no, and the rest of this form pops up and I would put in my mailing address. So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say Next. Congratulations! Based on the information we provided, we are eligible to enroll for school using this website. Based on grade and address information, it will tell you we have been assigned school Monte Vista Elementary and what grade level the school is. You must register at your school of residence, but if you want to have an application for a magnet school, if you click this form, it will open up that application in a new window, so it gives you that information. If you wish to attend another school other than your school of residence, then we would have to contact Student Services, and again, it's underlined. I can click on it and it will open that information on a different web page. So I'm going to say next. So now my account has been created. It tells me to please check my email and follow the instructions to finish the enrollment. Since your account has been created and you need to verify, please check your email to follow the instructions to finish enrollment. If you do not receive the email, please check your spam or your junk mail folder. So I'm going to go over to my email, and here is my email verification. Thank you for using Aries Air System. Once your account is activated, you will be able to continue editing your students' information. To activate your account, click here. If this link does not work, copy and then paste this URL into your browser address field. So you would just copy this link here. If you click on it, it doesn't work, you do need to copy paste. But mine is here, so I'm going to click here. And now I have my information. Thank you for verifying your email address. Click Next to begin the enrollment process. So now we're on the general student information screen. We're going to choose the student's gender. You need to put in a student's home phone number. If the student has an email address, parents' emails will be collected in another step. The country the student was born in. If the student was born in the United States, Canada, or Mexico, it will ask for a state. So I'm going to check my state. In the United States, we need to put what city the student was born in. The following two questions are required by federal law. To have more information on the ethnicity and the race codes, you can click on this More Information button, and it leads you to the CDE website for ethnicity and race info. That opens up in a new window. So that should answer, hopefully, all your questions. So we're going to choose our student's race and ethnicity. So is the student of Hispanic or Latino descent? What race is the student? Even if the student is of Hispanic descent, we still need a race. You can pick up to 5, I believe. And then what is the highest parent education level? Once you have completed all of those steps, you're going to click Next. Next, we have our language survey. What language did the student learn when he or she first began to speak? What language do you use most frequently to speak to the student? What language does the student most frequently use at home? What language is most often spoken by adults at home? Once you have completed those 4 questions, you're going to say Next. Here is the parent resident information. So what is the full parent guardian name that should be used on the mail addressed to the home of the student? If it's a double parent, use the slash mark instead of the and sign. So we're going to put in information about the parents or guardians who live with the student. Information about the parents and guardians who do not live with the student will be collected at a later step. So we're going to put in our first name, the relationship to the student. Do I want this person to have a parent portal access? If you want more information on that, we can collect this button. So this is the father. I would like to have information because I need to put in a valid email address. Does this parent live with the student? Yes. And then mail will be sent home to the parent's address. However, a second copy of the mail can be sent to additional address. So I'm going to say no to a second copy. So because I'm saying no, I don't need to fill in that other information, but I must put in our home phone number. The employer name, and so the next parent. Relationship. Portal account. And as a parent, live with the student, yes. So you need to put in a primary phone number, and then say next. Next is the out-of-state contact information. So if you would like to provide information for an out-of-state contact, you would put it in here. This information is optional and used for emergency purposes only. So for right now, I'm going to skip that to make this not quite so long. And is there a restrained individual? If there's an individual who is restrained from contact by the student by a court decree. If you say no, we can just say next. If you say yes, this information pops up. You will need to fill it out and bring in a copy of the court decree to your student's school. For right now, I'm just going to say no and say next. Local physician information. This is where you're going to put in your doctor's information. If you do not have a local physician, perhaps you can talk to your neighbor or a family member and get one. If you cannot get one, please enter in your information into this field and let your site know when you get a local physician. So I'm going to put in When you have completed this form, you're going to say next. Emergency contacts. Please provide up to 4 emergency contacts other than the parent guardian entered on the previous screen. This is really important if your student is sick and we cannot get a hold of you, or they're hurt, or there's an emergency on campus. So, and I'm just going to fill out the first one. Put in uncle. Do I want this person to have access to portal access? Please be aware, if you say yes, they will have the same access as you do as a parent. And I need to say no. Should a second copy of this mail be sent to the contact? We need, if you have a mailing name, address, city, state, that would be helpful. We have to have at least a phone number. When you have filled out all 4 of these, or as many as you can, we're going to say next. Does your student have a medical condition? Here's the drop downs for medical condition. If they do, you would just add in one. So perhaps the student broke their leg. And we're going to click add to add this to their record. If you have more than one, then you would just click add and continue adding. If the student is on a medication, you will need to stop by the nurse's office to pick up the medical form. I'm going to say next. Here you need your student's immunization record. So you're going to go in and start typing in your student's immunization record. It's very easy. If you go across, you can see the dates. So if it's month 4, if they don't have a day, just use day 1 and then put the year that they had it and then click add. And you will do that for every record on that yellow immunization card or your immunization record. When you are completed, we're just going to say next. And other districts enrollments. Has a student previously attended a school in the United States? If you say no, then you're done. If you say yes, it will ask what date did the student first enroll in any K-12 school in the U.S. So we will put our date in. Again, if you're not 100% sure of what actual day, just put 1. Has a student previously enrolled in a school in California? Again, you can say no. If you say yes, it will ask you for the dates. Has a student previously attended a school in this school district? If you say no, you're done. If you say yes, they want the dates. And the school they attended. Our schools are listed here. You just need to click a drop down and click on it. If the student has previously attended school for grade K-12 in another district, please provide as much information as possible for up to the last 4 schools. If you're not certain of the exact enter and leave date, please enter an approximation date. For example, if the student started sometime in February, you can enter February 1st. So we're going to choose student entered in 4. We'll just say 1. We're not sure. And they left. What grade level were they in when they entered? And what grade level were they in when they left? If you have the district contact name, you can put it in. We need the phone number. If you need to stop, you can go up to your internet and open a new window and look that information up. Your district name, address, country, state. Was the student ever expelled? Was a student ever in special ed? Was a student on a 504 plan? We need the school name. And the city of the school. And the zip code. Again, you can put up to 4 schools. When you're completed, say next. Next are our supplemental questions. The student is currently receiving the following services. These are special ed services or 504. They're receiving any of these services and you say anything other than none, please bring in a copy of your student's last IEP. Is the student currently in a group home or a foster child? My child was in a preschool or daycare. My child is currently in migrant ed. What is your correspondence language? Is this the language you want your phone calls or letters to come home in? Please choose either English or Spanish. Is your student currently under expulsion and not been readmitted? At what age did your child begin attending preschool? How long did your child attend preschool? And did your child attend any early learning programs prior to beginning preschool? When you've completed these questions, you're going to say next. This is where you confirm everything that you have just entered. So you can scroll down and review all of your information, and if you need to edit it, you would just click on the edit button. So perhaps I didn't have an out-of-state contact information and now I do. If I click edit, now I can put in a name. We need at least a phone number. If you don't have the address, we need at least the phone number. And you save and return. Now when I go back down, I have my out-of-state information. When you are certain that all of this information is true, accurate, to the best of your ability, you're going to hit finish and submit. So you want to print 2 copies of this page, a copy for the school and one for yourself. If you do not have a printer, you can go to your student's site and they can print this for you. So remember, the required information you will need to bring and provide your school at time of registration is verification of valid address within Vista Unified boundaries, immunization records, your local physician name and phone number, birth verification, for example, birth certificate, passport, and IEP, if the student has a 504 or is in special ed.